Hey, what's up, Aries? Welcome back to another general tarot reading. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my content in order to support my ability to do this with a clearer conscience and a brighter outlook for my experience on planet Earth. With that being said, also, make sure to leave a comment on whether or not you would like to see a subscription model on YouTube where I can charge maybe $5 a month and then behind the paywall offer more specific readings like love readings, spiritual readings, financial career readings, etc. And then leave the general readings for free on the outside. So I'm asking all the signs if they would like that, so let me know if that's something that you'd be into. Also, make sure to... Oh, crap, I kind of lost my train of thought. My bad. Sometimes it happens, sometimes I space out. Okay, so the other thing I was going to say is, it does seem like in the view counts that a lot of people will watch, but the click rate is pretty fast for how quickly people leave the videos. There's usually a core of energy that sticks around, but for the most part, a lot of people click off pretty quickly. That's disappointing, so definitely let me know in the comments why you clicked off. Usually I understand it's typically because the reading wasn't resonating for you. That's why I click off videos. But for me, I'd say 99.5 to 99.8% of the videos I watch from beginning to end. So I don't personally understand the click off rate being so high, but that's just me. I'm one of the few 5%ers apparently that stick through the whole video. It's not very common. Not quite yet anyway, so. Alright, so thank you for putting up with me ranting there. Let's take a look at your energy here. King of Pentacles in the upright. That is typically a very good energy. That is somebody who's very grounded, very materially grounded. They definitely want to have their energy stabilized through their material abundance. And they need that material abundance to feel that way. And it's usually somebody who has earned that, one way or the other. What's very tricky here, though, is the surrounding energy is reversed wand energy. So, Ten of Wands reversed, that's definitely somebody who's like very, very anxious and very, I would say, annoyed, maybe tired of the burden. They're overburdened. And it's not just that they're overburdened and taking it one step at a time and embracing being overburdened. It is that they are sort of they're falling into a mental trap of allowing the burden to keep their mentalism trapped, focusing on it, which helps keep them stuck. So it's very cliche. It is a very cliche law of attraction issue where, you know, the focus of being stuck is keeping the individual stuck. And the problem is that this is a King of Pentacles, but they're dealing with the Ten of Wands energy. It's they're very far on the spectrum away from each other. They're the furthest of the energies on the spectrum from each other. So what I'm suggesting is that this King of Pentacles maybe was not anticipating how much work it would be to maintain their success, unfortunately. And that is part of why, now that they're in this situation, they are very annoyed, because they're annoyed at the fact that their material well-being there's interference in the way. They were under the impression that their material stability was going to earn them more freedom, and it has in fact earned them less freedom, very likely. And that's part of why they're stuck in this energy. And that's what happens with the King of Pentacles. They aren't, like Earth Pentacle energy, they need the results, they need the material abundance, they need the material presence. The having to take all the action to get there can feel a little annoying. They don't embrace the action as good as a fire sign. Like if this was a King of Wands, they're more natural at embracing the next step, so to speak. They kind of embrace the action differently. So definitely this King of Pentacles may need to delegate more. I don't know exactly how they are attaining this material abundance. I don't know how they reached King of Pentacles status, but... And it's not even suggesting that they're a greedy King of Pentacles or that they're a dull materialist individual of any kind. It's just they're just kind of dealing with the utter reality now of how it feels to, you know, it's like the diminishing returns of success, or it's the what's the word I'm looking for? The upkeep. It's just the upkeep of success. And part of dealing with that is through proper delegation. There's a problem though, which is that unfortunately, this King of Wands has the Five of Wands on the other, or this King of Pentacles, excuse me, has the Five of Wands on the other side of them in the reverse, and that is a sign, unfortunately, of delegation going awry. So maybe this King of Pentacles is in some kind of leadership position. The problem is, it doesn't seem to be panning out as much as it should be. If these individuals in this Five of Wands reverse were actually achieving properly, then the King of Pentacles would be delegating better, or the results of their delegation would be better. And the problem is, part of that problem is a lack of leadership, unfortunately. Wow. This is a very tough Aries reading, very tough. So, yeah, it's almost like you're an Aries, but you're embracing the wrong qualities. You should be, as a fire sign, more anticipating about the action itself as opposed to the material results. So it definitely looks like you're a little mixed up here. Your energy shouldn't be so focused on, even though it's important to have the material success for stabilizing your life, it's miffing your energy here. Your natural Aries energy is, it's definitely a sign that you're misaligned with your energy, and the results are playing that out pretty hard. So very, very interesting. Whoa. Okay, so that fell right here. So I'm wondering if I should leave it there. Curious. So I'm going to leave it there, just because of how natural it fell out there. So the other thing is, we're looking at the King of Pentacles with the Lovers in the upright. So you might be anticipating... So I read that card multiple ways. It could literally mean a love thing. Sometimes I don't like to read it like that, though. More in general, the idea of the Lovers is that it's kind of about balancing your heart and your mind properly. So, which is very strange, because of the King of Pentacles, who can balance their heart and mind properly, should be able to embrace the Ten of Wands and the Five of Wands better, but they aren't for some reason. It's getting under their skin pretty big, like big time. It's getting under their skin, and it's even surrounded by the Fool reversed and the Three of Wands reversed. Very interesting. I'm not sure what is being implicated by this. This King of Pentacles energy. Did I say King of Wands again? I meant to say King of Pentacles if I didn't. This is just very interesting energy. It's all meshing pretty good, but it's very disappointing, because the core energy is somebody who is of decent quality, but like, oh my god, like all of their results are just so mixed up here. Every single result-oriented thing here is mixed. And part of why I'm seeing that is because if you are an Aries, the King of Pentacles energy is very disconnected from your natural fire energy. So, geez, I have like 8 different things I want to say here. So let me continue. Let me go back to what I was saying about this Five of Wands reverse. That is a sign of some kind of delegation being not producing properly. And the reason it's not producing is because whomever this delegation is, this group of individuals, they aren't managing to come together properly and constructively grow together. A lot of times that has to do with individuals that... Sometimes it's because there isn't any leadership. So you'll have like 5 individuals and they won't come together because they're all too intimidated to step on anyone else's toes or get to the heart of the matter, get to constructive criticism, and it leads to just paralysis in the group. So it doesn't matter how many people you throw onto that situation. If there isn't the proper leadership to get it into gear properly, it's not going to yield any results. And that means that this King of Pentacles is going to be overburdened because their delegation isn't actually achieving anything. And part of what I'm seeing here is it's almost as if whatever that delegation is, they are very unwilling to learn. They are very unwilling to grow. The Tower is resisting growth. Natural change has to happen. And the Full Reverse is resisting, like, it's resisting forward progress. It's a double clarifier of a lack of growth in the situation. So I don't know who you're delegating to, but there's a good sign that they are lacking leadership, and there's a good sign that they are, the quality of individuals are very resistant to changing themselves and growing for the better. And that's very disappointing because with this core stack here from this King of Pentacles, like, it might just be that the King of if you're in your King of Pentacles energy, you, like I said, you're not really a super big fan of the taking the action yourself necessarily. It is the thing that gets you is the actual material result. So it's like, it's the money in your hand, it's the material that is around you, that is yours, that can serve you. It's you being stabilized in that fashion. And if that is leading you to not take part interpersonally in this scenario, then it almost looks like it's breeding resentment. Like it's like a very cliche situation where like the boss or the owner isn't there, and the people they've delegated are just, they just don't really respect the leader. And that leads to a lack of results, and then when there's lack of results, then the owner has to come in and like clean things up, and they don't really want to do that. And it doesn't help the owner feel very secure in their situation. And there's even signs here that you're getting tired of it. And there's even signs here that it is bleeding you materially. And it will bleed you materially if you're paying all these people to do nothing. If you're paying all these people to not achieve, and you're stepping in anyway to deal with it, that is not where your money is supposed to be going. So the thing I keep coming back to here, though, let me see here. We're only at 10 minutes, and this is actually shaping up pretty well. The thing I'm seeing here is that you need to take a more direct action. You've got to embrace your Aries core differently. So I don't know if you're like just an Aries sun and then have a ton of Earth. And in that instance, maybe you are more natural in an Earth energy. But if you're an Aries sun and you're a natural fire sign, this is definitely asking you to focus on the action differently. Jump in yourself more often. Don't wait for it to overburden you. Don't wait for it to pile up. It's like you've got to relish in taking the action differently. And it even looks like you have the capacity to do that here with the Lovers. And then even with the Hierophant, that is a sign of convention serving you. So for somehow you are like, it's just very, very strange how this energy is like very capable in its own right, but then all of this like ulterior, exterior, peripheral stuff is failing you. And part of the main reason I'm seeing for that is, like I said, is you're not, I hate to use the word lazy so much, I hate that word, but the anticipation is incorrect that you're going to be able to just set and forget whatever this is. It's just the cards are not suggesting that it's working for you at all. And it's almost normalized too. Like this apathy and this inability to feel successfully stable, it's like the wheels are greased for that. Like you are like used to that, and that is like habituated almost. And that's very disappointing. Very disappointing. Because it's not like you're a King of Pentacles in reverse. It's not like you have the Lovers in reverse, which would insinuate that maybe you're a much more toxic individual. So very strange how this is all not serving you very well. But the reason I'm seeing is because you're out of your natural energy. You're all the way over at King of Pentacles, and you might need to start embracing King of Wands a little differently. So more conscientiousness, not so much just expecting people to do things, might help. Being a little more interpersonal with who you're delegating to might be a little different. Being a little bit more hands-on with getting involved with this and being the growth yourself to make this difference. You don't have to be harsh or a dickhead about it, but you might have to take a much more proactive approach here to make sure that this delegation is successful. So yeah, dang, very interesting. Definitely very interesting for an Aries reading. So let's continue here. Let's expand the Tower in reverse, please. Wow, three of Swords. So yeah, these, I don't know who you've delegated to, but they are definitely afraid of growing, is the bottom line here. They need to get over that fact. And maybe you have to step in and get them over that fact. Wow, look at how much resistance there is. They are so resistant. I don't know who these people are. I don't know. But they are so resisting this process. I don't know if it's something personal. It almost strikes me as it's very personal. They've got like a grudge against you. It's very strange. Very strange, but these three cards are definitely all about resisting growth. Extreme resistance to growth. So whomever you've chosen to delegate here, they just think that they're supposed to kick their feet up on your dime. They think that you're never supposed to question who they are, even if who they are is somebody who's not going to succeed when you pay them to. So, you need the results here, and whomever you've got on this, I don't know who it is, but they are like, this is, oh my god, this energy pisses me off, literally. It literally miffs me, pisses me off. Like, unless you're not paying them any money. If you're not paying them any money, then maybe, like, they wouldn't have the ability to do that. But if you're paying them to accomplish something, and they're this resistant to that, that is very, very bad quality. Like, that's getting fired territory as far as I'm concerned, because that's very disrespectful to your money and your resources that it takes to afford them the opportunity to do that work. So maybe they just don't want to work, you know, and I can get that if they're not on board with it, but then they're sitting there taking your money or something. Like, so, you know, that's all I'm saying. That's huge clarifier here. Huge clarifier that they are just not interested in growing as individuals. All 4 of these cards is that's exactly what that's about. So very disappointing. It's definitely a sign that you would have to get hands-on and start, you know, you don't have to be a dickhead about it, but you've got to just be very matter of fact, like there's going to be results one way or the other. And one way is that we get the success and growth and this team starts to achieve things and the delegation achieves properly. Or the other result is you're going to find the people that will. And you're going to focus your resources on the people that will achieve for you. So, dang, Aries. Very heavy. I don't know. Maybe you're a good soul at heart. Maybe you think maybe you're like, well, this is suggesting that your convention is serving you. So, like, I'm not sure what to tell you about this. I don't know how you've gotten stuck in this situation. But the whole idea here is that these people need to conquer their fear about their weakness. They've got to overcome their weakness, and sometimes that means that they can't just feel however they want to. They have to put how they feel aside for the rest of everybody else. So it's very selfish energy that I'm seeing here. Very, very insecure, very selfish, possibly very afraid, possibly all of the above, any of the above. Select your pick. You'd have to decide based off your situation, but that's the energy here. And it's giving you a clear sign of how to deal with that is these people have to overcome this fear of probably, you know, getting to the heart of the matter and stepping on each other's toes a little bit to get to the bottom of the problem and solve the problem and move forward and grow as an achievement group. And for whatever reason that is blocked. And sometimes the reason that's blocked is because there's no leadership. So I don't know if you've just like thrown a bunch of money at some people and had expectations that aren't coming through, but whatever it is, it's not working out for you. That's what the energy is suggesting here. So very interesting. Definitely very interesting. Okay, so wow. And I just got justice in reverse over here. So yeah, like I almost got the idea of a lawsuit off the top of my head, because that is what would maybe severance pay. Maybe you have like some kind of crazy corporate contract with these people, or maybe you have like a crappy lawyer or something, but this is literally a sign of it. Usually I read it as karmic justice, so in the reverse that's a sign of deliverance of bad karma. It's the utter result of momentum built up, and whether that is good or bad momentum, and in this instance it's poor momentum, which is exactly what this failure to stabilize your success is. So, you know, greasing the wheels and the normalization of that lack of success, that builds up negative karma, which eventually has to topple down. The other thing I'm seeing, though, is that combined with this material loss, it almost strikes me as a severance, as having to pay severance packages for these people. So, unfortunately, it's almost like you, like, it's like you hired a bunch of crooks almost. Like, they got you to, like, get them in on contract, and then since they got in on contract and they know that there's this stipulation of you losing financial stability from having to cut them due to, you know, whatever contract you got them in on, they also know that they can just kick their feet up and take it easy because they're gonna be able to take money from you if they get severed. So dang, like that's part of what I'm seeing here. And I usually don't read the justice cards so literally as a legal response like that, but that's part of what I'm matching up here. That sucks. That really sucks. I don't advocate making people's lives a living hell, but this is one of those instances where, like, you would want to, like, this is a very tricky situation, and it'd be very fun to speak with this energy personally, because yeah, you're gonna have to come up with a creative solution to deal with these individuals, whomever you're delegating to, especially if you're paying them money and they're on contract. Like, you might have to go back to your lawyer and, you know, explain to them that this isn't working out, and you're gonna have to figure something out, because in the long run it's not going to work with these people unless they, like, somehow have a severe change of heart somehow to do better for you. So the only thing I can imagine would be, like, and if they're on, like, salary or something, like a contracted salary, that's gonna be tough. So yeah, this is really tough, Aries. Like, as an Aries boss, like, it's the last thing you want to see. So I definitely apologize if this is all resonating with somebody, because it's heavy. It's heavy, I can't deny it. Let me click this final clarifier here for you. We're at 20 minutes, and I think I can wrap this up pretty quickly here. So if I could, please, can I get a final clarifier for the Three of Swords, please? Okay, so final clarifier for Three of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, you're not going to see the success you want until this growth occurs. And the growth, it's going to take this, overcoming this fear to achieve this material success. You can't get to this material success. It is a good sign that maybe this group can grow. So maybe it's not so much about the literal contractual thing for all of you. Maybe for some of you that's very literal. It might just be that you are losing your... It might just be that you're bleeding finances, but the universe is like... the universe is saying, well, that's natural. That's what's going to happen in this situation. Because of how much of this lack of growth there is. But you're not going to be able to reach this proper financial stability. You're not going to be able to reach this achievement of this group until they can control their emotions, so to speak. Until they don't let their feelings dictate the situation. They've got to let the results dictate the situation. And they've got to overcome their fear of coming together properly. So that's a good clarifier of that. Maybe it's not as bad as I was suggesting. Maybe the leadership is not there. But the other reality is that it's bleeding you financially, and it's getting old, kind of, especially if you have to keep coming in and dealing with it. It's a lot of energy like that. A lot of energy like that. But it is suggesting here that the solution is, to a certain extent, taking the high road, retaining your internal optimism, making sure that you stick to healthier values, so to speak, more conscientious values. And despite how much of a block there is in this, because this is very blocked. I've never seen this much blocked energy. Tower reverse, death reverse, full reverse, that is so blocked. Like, and what I'm seeing from the Three of Swords is that it's about fear. And sometimes there's like 5 guys sitting around a table, and they're supposed to be working as a team to get together to achieve something. But then like all 5 of them will just sit there not conversing with each other, and they won't accomplish anything together. And then like all 5 of them are like wasting the time because they aren't working as a team, because they're all afraid to like step on each other's toes. And there's just people that don't mesh well like that, honestly. Maybe you hired like all guys for this or something. If there was maybe some chicks in the mix, or maybe if it was all chicks, they could come together in a better dynamic. But for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but they are super stuck, and it is bleeding you financially. And it's not just bleeding you financially, but it's like ruining your like peace of mind even. And it's even maybe habituated a little bit. So very disappointing, Aries, but I gave you the solution here. You've got to make sure that this team, you've got to figure out how this team is not succeeding, and you've got to fix that. Whether it's through leadership or direct intervention, or even letting people go, the results have to reign supreme. How people feel cannot reign supreme, or you're going to be stuck in the situation. So much so, and you already are stuck in it. It looks like it's almost like habituated and normalized. So maybe you're one of the people who's also of this quality, who's afraid to make this happen. But it's also showing here in this column that you have the capacity to find the good in them, so to speak. You have the capacity to make the difference here. I'm not sure why you haven't yet. And the main reason it looks like, unfortunately, is that maybe you just might be absent from the situation. You might just be kind of setting and forgetting this and hoping it would work better, but it looks like it's not. Which maybe it means that your manager is not doing a good job or something. Like, very interesting. It would be very fun to clarify this with somebody, because this is exactly why I do these readings, is to help people solve problems like this. So when I see the energy come out like this, it definitely makes me happy that somebody would be here who could potentially be helped through a scenario like this and grow through this from my cards and from my reading. So I'm very happy that you were here. And the energy is very disappointing, but there are signs here of things you can do. And the energy for you is not bad. Maybe embrace your fiery quality more than your material quality might be something that helps you out here. So, all right, Aries, I think that's it for this reading. Take care. Good luck. Get this figured out, my friend.